Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Kobra Kydex rugged duty holsters. You have the plain rugged duty holster for guns that do not have a weapon light. I bought this one here it is listed as their Polymer 80 holster. And then I'll also be talking about their rugged duty light bearing holster. Kobra Kydex is a company that's based out of Georgia. They do make not only out the waistband holsters, but in the waistband holsters, along with some magazine carriers and other goods. What brought me to them is when I started looking for a holster, specifically one that had a hood on it, that would be left-handed, that wasn't going to be custom made and take months to make and have also a lot higher price point, but also could be used for a gun that has a TLR7 on it. So real quickly, you see there's no magazine in the gun, nothing in the chamber. Same thing with this one. Magazine's empty, no round in the chamber. So TLR7 is primarily a concealed carry weapon light, or I think most would think of it that way. Anybody who's building a combat type holster, you'll be running something like the X300 or the Streamlight TLR1HL. So I was having a very difficult time finding a holster that met all that criteria and also would be able to be mounted onto a Safariland QLS mounting system. So I do run QLS on my battle belt, so I wanted to find a holster that would fit and would work with that. And that's where I came across Kobra Kydex. Kobra Kydex offered this, all the things that I was looking for, fit the gun, had the level 2 retention on there, with the hood, the spring-loaded hood, and it was pretty good. A couple of things that I really liked about it in going for both these holsters is first and foremost, and I'll show you how it fits with the Grey Ghost Precision. Both fit very well. Both retain the gun very well. There is some adjustability for retention, or let me say, how tightly it fits by way of these rubber grommets or rubber bushings that you have, and tighten them down or loosening them up to get them however you may want. A couple things that I really liked about them, going back to that, is that for one, that they're available. Secondly, there wasn't an extremely long wait time for them. I think on their website today they are saying there's up to 15 business day wait for them, since they say they are made to order. I think I got, and I don't remember which one, I got one within just a couple days. The other one was closer to 2 weeks to get that in. The spring-loaded hood operates very well. Push the button, and like you saw in the video, once you have that activated, you're not getting that out of there. Nobody's going to be able to pull that out of your holster. It's not going to fall out if you're running around or you take a spill or whatever it may possibly be. Spring's very quick to pull out. I like how rugged they are. It's made out of 125 sheets of Kydex. I'm not sure if that's really super necessary, because the Safariland holsters, they're only made out of about 100,000 thick material, and they are some of the most rugged and durable and tested holsters out there right now in the field and in service, and then the price point. So the non-light bearing holster runs about $75 just plain. There are some things that you can get that will increase that price if you get different colored hardware on it, if you buy a mounting system for it, and whatnot. But just for the holster itself with the spring-loaded hood, you're looking at $74.99 for this one. If you add a weapon light on it, it steps it up to $79.99. Another pro about the holster is that you see from the multiple holes in the back of it, you do have multiple options of mounting. So looking at their website, it says that they have tested these with the Safariland QLS UBLs, G-Code RTIs, and Blade Tech Duty Drop attachments. I know that you can also get these clips here that can be mounted on your belt. I did try out removing this from this AR mag holster. and slipping it on here. So if you want to just put it on your range belt, that does work also. So some of the really good options that you have, along with various colors that they do offer. Now, some of the things that I don't like about the holster, and some of you may have already noticed it and thought to yourself, why the heck do we have to see these holes on the outside of the holster? As you see, they are universal from both left to right. So apparently they use the same mold to make the holster, whether you are a left-handed or right-handed shooter. And the only thing that would change on this would be the spring release for the hood. But, you know, part of owning good gear, or having gear period, and why we shoot, you know, there is that kind of cool factor in there also. I mean, looking cool, super important. The holes being on the outside, it kind of gives a negative appeal to it. Also, this mold line that you see here, this little winding slithery line, not exactly 100% sure of why that needs to be there. I'm going to assume that it is for the mold, and when they are setting it up, something like that. I never actually asked them about it. So another thing that I don't really like about it, and this it's probably not the fault of the holster, but come to find out that I do not like the hood. Whether even though it's spring-loaded, and while it's very secure, and why all the cool people are using spring-loaded hoods nowadays, what I did find for myself is that when you go to draw, and I'm sure it's something that could just be worked out with practice, but there'd be many times where I'd be drawing, my draw would be in front of the spring-loaded release. So I would go to pull, hit the button, but I've already put tension on it, so you got to let it go. Push it down a little bit to let it go. That part I was not super crazy on myself. And again, that's probably not any fault of Kobra Kydex. It's just kind of the nature here. I do much prefer the ALS system that is on the Safariland line of holsters. That design there clamps around the ejection port, and there's a button you push, and it's just a lot quicker. Almost every single time you can get a smooth draw compared to this one here, where you may be in front of the drawing mechanism and end up getting it stuck instead. So again, it's probably something that could be worked out with just practice and repetition. That's one thing that I was not super crazy on. I did also want to note that these holsters are open on the end. So for this one, for G19, you may see that the end of the holster, it is a bit recessed to the end of the holster, sticks out further than the end of the slide. I did also previously have on an Agency Arms 417 comp, which extended quite a bit, makes it more like the length of a G34, and there was zero problems with this gun fitting inside the holster due to its open-ended design. I did want to show a quick side-by-side of the Kobra Kydex to the Safariland. This is definitely not an apples to apples comparison. I just wanted to show size-wise how the guns and the holsters compare and look different to each other. See, this one here is for a G19-ish build. I say G19-ish because it's not really truly a G19. I have the Gray Ghost Precision frame along with the Hex Precision slide. And I do also want to note that you buy a specific holster for the P80 versus the OEM Glock frame. The trigger guard is different geometry. It's much wider, flares out a little bit more and sooner. I could not even begin to get this into my G19 OEM G19 holster. And if you do have a Gray Ghost Precision frame, the one that's listed on Kobra Kydex's website is for a P80. They weren't even sure when I asked them if a Gray Ghost Precision frame would work with their holster. They did agree to allow me to return it and get a full refund if it did not work out. And the benefit to them is they're able to list that the holster will work for P80s and Grey Ghost Precision. So you see a side-by-side comparison. Definitely the Safariland is quite a bit larger. And I mentioned before about the locking mechanism on the ALS locking mechanism in the Safariland works by clamping around the ejection port. If you can see down in there, once you hit the button, the release button, it just tilts out of the way and allows you to release the gun. And for me personally, that is just a lot more natural feeling and releases quicker. I never have found myself yet to go to yank on the gun and I have the button engaged enough. And even if you were to do that, it still just pops right out, versus the hood that even if you pull and you've already pushed the button, you can't get it out as naturally as you can with the Safariland. And again, I want to show you the side-by-side thickness comparison of the Kobra Kydex to Safariland. As you see, the Kobra Kydex makes theirs out of quite a bit thicker, probably about 25% thicker material than the Safariland. As I mentioned before, don't think that that's really necessary, being that these holsters here are some of the most tried and true holsters out there in duty use, both with military and in law enforcement. But just that this thing, it's not chintzy, it's not going to break on you very easily. It is some pretty heavy duty stuff. So that concludes the video. Hopefully this will help somebody out if they are looking for a holster for, if it's a reasons for just like mine, or any of the other reasons that I listed. Go take a look at Kobra Kydex. Google them up, take a look at their webpage, and see all the other different holsters in the waistband, out the waistband, mag carriers, and other products they do offer. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Leave any comments or questions you may have, and I will try to get them answered. Thanks.